Hey guys, welcome to another week of this. Today I just want to reflect on something that I touched on at the Mother's Day message. It's been a key part of preventing burnout for me and a key part of being re-energized for life and ministry as well. So a couple of a few years ago, I'm losing track of what happens when, but at some point when I was in the brink of when I was in the middle of burnout, I was at mum and dad's house, and I remember dad just saying something like this. It's something to do along the lines of how I'm just not quite as happy or chatty anymore, how I've been more quiet than usual, or less less bright and less cheerful. And how that's how I've always been, and it's been like, oh, you haven't really been yourself, was kind of the gist of it. And I guess I must have known that on some level, but it didn't really occur to me until dad said it like that, kind of saying like I haven't really been myself. And I thought about it, and I realized it was because I'd really made life just feel like work. And not on purpose, but I think just because I was adjusting to parenting life, and that taking a lot of resources for me. I was so keen to not let one thing in my life be everything, so I wasn't trying to change what I did at church or at work and other places. And so I just kind of was, I don't know, doing life without much balance, I guess. And it all felt like work. And I think everywhere I went, I felt like I was quite on, which I'll kind of go into in another session, the whole idea of being switched on all the time. But what I realized was what was missing in life was just joy. And I've talked about that before, I think in one of these, I can't remember. But what I needed was to make sure that life had balance, that there was play in life particularly. And that's what I want to talk about today. I think, and I've said this in the Mother's Day message, when we're, as kids, it's almost like what the main thing we're supposed to do is learn how to feel loved and safe and enjoy life and be playful. Like our main way of learning and doing life is through play. But then as we get older and older, it's like we lose that. And I don't think we're supposed to. I think that playfulness we have as children is something that, we're not meant to act like children when we're adults, but at the same time, that childish spirit, that awe, the wonder, the way we laugh and delight, all those kinds of things are so important. And I think when you don't have balance in life, you lose that playful, joyful side to life. And so, it just sounds so simple. But I think, when I think of like David in the Psalms, in the Bible, just the way he would dance and sing and worship God. Even in his worship, there's this like playful, fun delight, And, I think of Jesus when he would have meals with his disciples, and it's like, it wasn't all work. And I think, it's so important to be people who know what we're about, our purpose, our mission, to be intentional, but not to lose that playful spirit, and to make sure that our life is balanced enough that play is part of it. And it looks maybe a bit different to when we were children, but it's still play. And so, I want to encourage you, if you look at your life right now, is it very work or ministry heavy, or is there balance? Is there time with people you love? Is there time with, for hobbies? Sometimes I forget what hobbies even are in this parenting season, but in the last year or so, I've been trying to remember some things and try things I might enjoy and make room for them whenever possible. And so I just want to encourage you with that. What are some things that bring joy in your life? Some things that where you feel like you're a kid again, and you're just enjoying the world in a playful way. You know, is it a hobby? Is it time with friends? Is there something you like to do that you haven't been doing much of, but you know that it's an important part of what makes life feel joyful? And I'd encourage you to find that thing and then be really intentional and do it. But more than that, I want it to be more than just a challenge for the week or something, because we need work-life-play balance. And so I'd encourage you to think about, in the same way I talked about having margin in our lives and planning for margin, I'd encourage you, what does it look like to plan, to plan things in a way where you actually make room for play? Because I think it's really important. And I have to say, sometimes it can sound like such an inward selfish thing, but it's not, first of all. And second of all, for me, some of these principles I've been talking about in the last, I don't know, month with you guys, practicing these has actually been drawing me closer to God, because instead of feeling like this burden of life and everything that life, I don't know, brings, and feeling distant from God through it all, what it's made me realize is that there are things that God wants for me. And there are ways in which he can minister to me and wants to minister to me that I haven't been letting him. And some of these things he's been teaching me, practicing them, has really been helping me develop this fresh love for God that I haven't had in a long time. And it's hard to fully explain, but all I know is that practicing these things that God's been teaching me have been drawing me closer to him. And one of those things has been remembering to make room for play. Because I see God in that. I see God in joy and playfulness. And there's so much in the world that is good and wonderful because he created it. And so let's not forget that. It's not selfish. It's enjoying life that God has given us. It's a gift. All right, bye.